Hi guys, another Geek123 here, and I'm back today with the second episode of the Road to Avengers 2020, where I take a look at mostly every 2000s to current day Marvel video games, to lead me to, well, hopefully covering the Avengers game when it releases later on this year. If you have not yet checked out the Spider-Man 2000 video, I would recommend it because there is some interesting information in that video about that game on there if you're interested in Spider-Man type games. Okay, so the next game on the list where I could find some good source of information about is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, which yes is the fourth video game in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, but it's the first game from the series in the 2000s. Bit odd, but I don't make the rules. Well, I do, but you get what I mean. So let's just get into looking into this game. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be looking at in this game is the overall story. The story is set 2 years after the battle against Onslaught from the previous game. Peace on Earth was restored once again until a mysterious entity named Abyss shrouded the atmosphere with his dark energy. The energy got so strong it blew past the desert and the plant life was ruined. A pirate known as Ruby Heart discovered the energy and warned the heroes and even the villains about this. They even put things past them and teamed up to stop this new nemesis before Earth and even the universe is destroyed by its power. This leads to many fights, the heroes, villains and new characters finally defeating Abyss. At the end of the battle, the heroes and villains make a truce while making a joy cruise on Ruby Heart's ship, closing the rivalry between Marvel and Capcom. Overall, this story is simple. A big villain comes to destroy an Earth, everyone including villains team up and defeat the ultimate threat, but overall this is a fighting game. So I'll give it a bit of credit because fighting games aren't tended to have a big massive plot that is something different to this setup, if you get what I mean. But I actually kind of like them making a somewhat closure until they decided to literally make 5 more Marvel vs. Capcom games after this one. But hey, again, for being a fighting game, it's still kinda good. But I think I would like to see more fighting games create better plots in the future. Some have, don't get me wrong, and I might explain this in future episodes of this series, but with me, with fighting games, the plot overall is kind of the same, but I don't know, that's just my opinion. For gameplay standards in this game, it's mostly the same as previous titles in the series. However, players can now select 3 characters from the roster of characters. Each character has at least one super combo, and the teams now share a single super meter. The controls of the game as well are very similar to the Street Fighter games from that era, as well, except maybe for the screen being wider. A cool thing that you could also do in the game is that you can call in an off-screen character to do a special move at times, as well. It's kind of similar to the Scott Pilgrim game with the ability of having Scott call out Ramona Flowers to help for a bit of a fight. But hey, that's literally just a reference to them type of games. Arcade versions of the game also feature an experience system which unlocks hidden characters after you reach a certain number of experience points. However, this was removed for console versions of the game, so they could have something similar named the Secret Factor menu, where players could use their points not only to unlock characters, they could also buy backgrounds and artworks for the game, until the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 remasters removed this feature again to just give the characters for free at the start of the game. Overall, my opinion about the gameplay is that I find many of these features so cool and inventive to the genre, but for something that is meant to be similar to the Street Fighter games back then, there's something missing and I'm not too sure what it is, but it just seems the movements feel very off to me a little bit and a little too quick at times. Moving on to characters, in this story there is quite a lot of characters since this is a fighter game for very big properties. So I'm going to quickly go through the list of the characters we see in this game. We see US Agent, Doctor Doom, Thanos, Cable, Wolverine, Marrow, Blackheart, Captain America, Colossus, Cyclops, Gambit, Hulk, Iceman, Iron Man, Juggernaut, Magneto, Omega Red, Psylocke, Rogue, Sabretooth, Shuma, Graph, Silver Samurai, Spider-Man, Spiral, Storm, Venom, War Machine, Ryu, Ken, Akuma, Felicia, Julie, Hato, Jill Valentine, Tron-Bon, Servbot, Ruby Heart, Sun, Mingo, Abyss, Captain Commando, Strider Hero, and Zangief. I think overall it's so cool including these amounts of characters and their powers in this overall game. The game designs of these characters don't really need much to say either, since the game sticks to making the game look like a really vibrant comic book with all these characters having their respected design, which I really respect and like the look of. Finally, moving on to the development of the game. On December 1st, 1999, Capcom announced its sequel and confirmed it was in the development stage. The game was initially developed for Sega Naomi arcade board and the Dreamcast game console. This was also Capcom's first attempt at a fighting game outside of the CP System 2 and 3 hardware systems. 2 years after its original release, during a press conference prior to the Electronic Entertainment Expo 2002, Capcom revealed that the game was first being planned to be on PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox as well. Then 6 years after that, in 2008, after the success of Super Street Fighter 3 Turbo HD Remix, Capcom stated that they were planning on remastering past games onto modern consoles at that time, and this eventually led to Capcom's Vice President of Business Development, Christian Svensson, getting asked about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being remastered, and he confirmed that they were planning on it since it was the most requested game to be remastered. Then finally on April 27, 2009, the game was announced by both companies that the game would be remastered to be on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 stores. A demo of the remaster was actually released on April 30th exclusively for the PlayStation Network as well. The ports for these consoles were also developed by Backbone Entertainment, and a remaster was built using the original Dreamcast version's codebase. And then when they got questioned why they weren't making a Wii version of this game, Capcom explained that they couldn't do it due to licensing agreements and WiiWare's file size limit. Then 3 years after the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions of the game released, Capcom announced that the game would be releasing on iOS devices as well. They released two configurations for iPhone and iPod touch screens. Players can make a choice between the standard 6-button layout or the 4-button control scheme with flip controls. Okay, so that is everything I could find about this game, guys. Honestly, I've played this game a few times while I've been at someone's house before, and they've just had the game on the PlayStation 2 edition, and I've even borrowed it like once or twice off them to play this. It's quite a fun game to play, honestly. I haven't really played much of the plot. I just play like main fights at the start and that. And I do agree with, I do state my statement about the game controls, if you get what I mean. It feels a bit too quick to me, but overall this is a very vibrant game that does the justice of Capcom vs Marvel. I know that it's the most respected one out of the list back then, especially the reasoning why they remastered it for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I just can't believe it had so many remasters in its time, which is unbelievable. Maybe we could see it actually return for the next generation of consoles, who knows. But honestly, yeah, this is a great game. If you guys have any experience of this game or have any more information that I missed out, please comment it down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you like the video, please like. If you dislike the video, please dislike. I don't mind if you dislike, it gives me feedback to improve. And honestly, if you want to give any feedback about the overall video, you can also comment down that below. Again, I really love your guys' feedback. And honestly, if you've been watching this content for a while and have not yet subscribed, please do. It would make my day, honestly. So thank you so much guys for watching, and peace.